Welcome to Snip Gossip. Today's update has gone way beyond social media gossip. We're talking real legal consequences, serious charges, and a major hip-hop name in legal trouble. We're talking about Mystikal, and yes, this story is as wild and dark as it sounds. Rapper Mystikal has officially pleaded guilty to third-degree rape connected to a 2022 arrest in Louisiana. That means he now faces up to 20 years in prison. We're not talking rumors, this is confirmed in court. Mystikal, whose real name is Michael Lawrence Tyler, is a New Orleans rapper who blew up in the late 90s and early 2000s with hits like Shake Ya Ass and Danger. He was Grammy-nominated, had major chart success, and was a big name in hip-hop culture. So when you hear his name you're like, oh yeah, the rapper, but this story is nothing like a hit record. The details are disturbing. In July 2022, deputies responded to a hospital after a woman reported that she had been raped, beaten, and choked. And she identified Mystikal as the person who allegedly did it to her at his home, according to prosecutors. The victim said he took her phone and car keys so she couldn't escape. Then he forced her to send him money over Cash App. After the assault, only then did he let her go. These are the allegations that formed the basis of the criminal case against him. Originally, the indictment included multiple charges, not just rape, but things like first-degree rape, robbery, domestic abuse, battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, criminal damage to property. Those charges could have carried a mandatory life sentence if he'd been convicted as originally charged. But here's the twist. Instead of going to trial on all of that, Mystikal accepted a plea deal, where he pled guilty to a reduced charge of third-degree rape, and all the other charges were dropped in exchange. That guilty plea now means he could face up to 20 years in prison. The judge has ordered a pre-sentence investigation and scheduled sentencing for June. Now here's the part people are talking about online. This is not the first time Mystikal's been in deep trouble with sexual assault and violence charges. Back in 2003, Mystikal pleaded guilty to sexual battery and extortion for forcing his hairstylist to perform sexual acts while accusing her of stealing from him. He served 6 years in prison for that. Then in 2012, he got a misdemeanor domestic battery charge that resulted in some jail time. Then in 2017, he was charged with rape and kidnapping in a separate incident. But those charges were later dropped after he was held in jail for about 18 months. So this latest guilty plea is part of a long history of violence, allegations, and convictions, and that's why the internet has been so heated about this. People online are reacting hard. Some are saying he's a serial offender, some think he should never see freedom again, and others point to the plea deal like it's too light for what's alleged. Comments on Reddit and social feeds are exploding with outrage. Some are even talking about how this case shows a pattern of repeated harm, not just a one-off mistake. And that has a lot of people fired up in comments and debates across social platforms. So there you have it. Mystikal, once a celebrated rapper, now a man who has pleaded guilty to third-degree rape, faces up to 20 years in prison, and has a long history of serious legal trouble.